Oh gosh, it's been what time? Oh shit. Sorry. It's been a year since I've uploaded because I fell asleep. Ha 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 entry bit. Cool. Oh god, I remember that I cannot see the screen with those on. A true class. Okay, what are we going? Oh, SSHing, yes. So this video is going to be a lot more for I guess getting people up to date with SSHing into anything really. A couple of different methods. It's going to be targeted towards the programmers on the UNL RMC team for the year 2021 to 2022. It's how we're doing stuff currently. So let's just jump on into it. So the first way we're going to want to do this is with something called PuTTY. PuTTY is I guess let me just pull it up. It's a SSHing tool of sorts that allows you to, wait, I am sharing the right screen, right? I think so. Yeah, I am. Okay, that's weird. That allows you to go into certain, to SSH into IPs, do a bunch of other stuff. It'll just be the first way that we're going to do it. Pretty simple stuff here. So if you need to know how to get PuTTY, oh, what you can do? Oh, just literally Google PuTTY download. And I can type PuTTY download, boom. Literally, it's just this. You go to the first link, boom, right here. Literally download PuTTY. Oh, you can download. Oh, click the button. Whoa. Now, I will admit, this does look pretty intimidating. It looks kind of weird. But we're just going to do, if you're a Windows system, which I'm just going to assume that you are because superior system, it'll just be the first one right here. There's Unix stuff. I don't even know if they have it for Mac. I think Mac has its own thing, actually. But yeah, Windows, just the first link right there. It'll give you an MSI file. Run that. It'll install PuTTY. You'll be good to go. So once you've got PuTTY and you run it, you get this little window that pops up. And this is where, I mean, it's really basic stuff from here. You should have an IP of the device you're trying to SSH into. Type that into the host name here. So 10 for, again, this is for the Jetson as of October or November, yikes, 22nd, 10.65.247.176. If you want, you can call this, I don't know, RMC, and you can save it, and that'll actually just save that IP there, so that if you delete that and then double click it, oh, it'll just go right in there. And if your system is online and you can connect to it, at least with the Jetson, it will look like this. You will have a login as section. If it doesn't come up with anything, if this green box just hovers in the corner, that usually means it just can't make a connection. If it's your first time connecting to the Jetson through PuTTY, it'll pop up with a little window that says, hey, do you want to do this? Or, you know, like, here's what you're doing, you know, and you just click OK, or you just click proceed, or you just click connect or something like that. And you'll then come to this window. Again, if the green box is in the corner there, go ahead and make sure you type that IP correctly. If you typed it incorrectly and it's still there, go ahead, contact. If you're on the team, contact me, or contact someone who's close to the system, and they'll just turn it on. Sometimes it falls asleep, and that's literally what's up with that. So then you'll type in with your username and password. Don't be worried. You can type stuff in the password here, and the green box will not change. That's just how it is. If you mistype it, it will, I mistyped it there. It'll just say access denied, give you another chance. If you type the password incorrectly, you will get something that looks like this screen right here, which is just welcoming you to the system. That's literally it. I'm not going to go over what commands I really go through here or go into much detail because I have a video, which, wait, can I plug it right here? Wait, what if I, wait. What if I plug it like, other video right here? We'll see if I can figure out how to do YouTube to the point where that's plugged. We'll see though. For a Unix PuTTY tutorial earlier on the channel. Yeah, I think someone told me in one of the comments if I reference that video again that they're gonna take me out or kill me or something. So haha, I'm gonna plug the video, hopefully. But yeah. So anyway, how do we know that this is actually the system that we're currently running? We can literally go through it and literally check stuff out. And if we want to go to our README, for instance, oh, there it is, as it is right now. Not much there. We're working on it. But that's how it is. If you wanted to say edit stuff, or if you wanted to see what branch of stuff we're on, say you wanted to use like Git or whatever for this, see Capkin, whoa. Or actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. You could do a Git branch and you'll see, oh, look at that, we're on development. Cool. It literally is just as if you're in the terminal. So you could literally start up ROS. You could run an instance of ROS here, literally starting up right there. The one thing is that if you're wanting to do multiple terminal windows, you will need to either type commands to do that or just spin up other instances of PuTTY. I'll leave that up to you to figure out what you want to do there. If you wanted to edit files, you know, you could use Vim, gross. I even have it. I do have Vim, yikes. Or you could use Nano and just go through and literally just type whatever you wanted. And then you'd have to go through the process of committing, pushing, all of that sort of fun stuff. Yeah, so that's the first way. The other way, which especially if you're doing development work and not just running terminal stuff, that I will recommend is using Visual Studio Code, VSCode, which I'll refer to it as a really good plugin for that. So this is, you know, VSCode, what it looks like running up. You might have some random crap. Oh, release notes. Yay, no one cares. You'll want to go over here to the 4 blocks extensions and just type in remote. And what you'll have here is you'll have remote containers. You'll have just a bunch of random stuff. I personally have 2 of these installed. I have remote SSH and remote SSH configuring files. Oh, look at that. Never mind. You only have to install one of them. So just install remote SSH and you'll be good to go. You'll have this icon pop up right here. That's exactly what we want. If that icon doesn't pop up, make sure you install this one. So what does this allow us to do? It essentially basically installs PuTTY into VS Code and makes it super, super slick. So what we're going to do is to access it for the first time. You'll go over here, click Remote Explorer. You'll have this SSH targets. Nothing's configured yet. Oh yeah, we just installed it, whatever. Go to the plus button to add new. And this will be where you type in your IP address. So your IP or your address of whatever you're SSHing into. So for us, it's literally that exact same IP. You hit enter, and then you'll go to either one of your config files. I'm just going to go into my regular one, and boom, host is added. But if we just open it up like this in a new window, it'll ask us to select the platform we're on. Or sorry, not the platform we are on, but the platform that the system that we're SSHing into is on. And that's going to be a Linux system for the NVIDIA Jetson. And then it's, yes, we want to continue. Enter the password for that. Now, I can type in that exact same password, and it's going to just pop it up again, is really what it's going to do, because I got an incorrect password. You'll notice that that's not exactly what we're looking for. So you'll do escape, close remote, something like that. We need to essentially edit our login details is what we need to do. So the super easy way to do that is to go over here to the SSH targets again, go to, actually, wait a second, no, it's that one. Go to the gear, and then just click on whatever config file you did in the first place. And we'll have a host and a host name. Now what you're going to do is you'll go under it and you'll do user space. And then for us, I believe it is UNL. Let's see if I got that right on the first try. There's a good chance I didn't. Once you save that file, you should be able to go back into it. And now we're at UNL Lunar at that IP address. If we type in a bad password again, which I just did, it should pop back up. But if we do the actual password, this should change down here from, did I get that right? Oh, cool. That was really fast. The way that you'll know that it worked correctly is if this SSH thing right here is the 10.65.247, you know, that IP address, and it says editing on when you hover over it, that's exactly what you want. If you have any other extensions or stuff installed on Visual Studio Code in the on your platform, they will show up here. So you'll notice that we have a ROS extension in here and a couple other testing stuff things. But yep, so that's there. So how do we know that it's actually the chosen? You can go to open folder, and then we're just going to open up documents because it's simple. Okay, it may or may not ask you for the password again. Yep, it did. This should be realistically the last time you need to input the password. Go ahead and trust all those because it's whatever. And then boom, this is literally our code base. Want to go to that README again and type stuff in. It looks like we have. Oh yeah, so this is literally hooking into the system. So we have stuff that we changed on the system that we haven't committed up. So it's literally there. If you want to edit stuff, it's as easy as literally just typing in here, and you're editing it on the Jetson itself. So if you have someone who's working on the Jetson, when you save stuff, it will update for them as well, because you're realistically editing the same file. Don't save it. But yeah, so you can just go through here, play through here. Git use literally works the exact same. So if you're wanting to change branches, there's that. It literally is how it's a very, very useful tool for editing stuff, and you can do it anywhere. I'm on the same Wi-Fi system. This is a note for UNO people, or the UNO robotics team. You can access it if you're connected to Eduroam, or any EduRoam network, or if you're using the UNL VPN, then you can access it literally anywhere. So that's that. That's literally the entire thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have a ton more videos this year, so I'm probably just going to go back to sleep for another year. Oh, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been another amazing video on the YouTube channel. You know what to do. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. Most importantly, hit that bell for notifications. That way you can get notified in a year when I upload again. So yeah, I totally forgot what I do for outros, but you know, sometimes you just got to take it. So with that, I will catch all of you guys in the next one.